The party at Chappan Dukan and Sarafa Bazaar is going to get crazier tonight. An easy win. Another very easy win for India. This one by 6 wickets as well. Afghanistan's bowlers, no match for the two young guns of India's T20 batting. Yashasvi Jaiswal, 68, set the tone. Took India quite far. Shivam Dube joining him, 63 not out. Another half century for him, third of his career, second consecutive. Remained not out in the end, Shivam Dube. Virat Kohli looked pretty good on his return to the T20 international side. Nothing much to talk about from an Afghanistan bowling point of view. India win their 15th consecutive T20 international series at home. Two winners on Cricbuzz Live, Rohan Gavaskar and Joy Bhattacharjya. You happy about the win and you're happier about the early finish, Mr. Gavaskar?
Extremely happy, and extremely happy that I got my power play prediction.
Bang on.
Bang on. I was a little disappointed though that you didn't bring it up in your opening monologue there.
I think people are tired of your success.
It really is.
Good,
just jealous.
They're not taking it for granted.
Honestly,
it's this happens every day, so it's no more a top story, right?
It's no longer a top
The sun rises in the east.
Really,
in the west.
So tomorrow I'm going to come with something, not tomorrow, on the 17th.
On the 17th.
Something completely different.
Oh, what a win. I suppose Indore is the new golfing destination of India. Just the way these two were teeing off.
Yeah, listen, and because of that, because of what you said, golfing destination, the way these two were teeing off, if I was to decide the player of the match, it would be Akshar Patel.
Ah, interesting choice.
He's gone for 4.2 runs per over.
Yep.
Where India, and I mean, what's been the difference? We were talking about them getting 200.
Yeah.
They've got to 170. We've got to 170 in the 17th over. Yeah. And we could have easily been 190 or whatever by now.
Yeah.
And if on a pitch like this with these ground dimensions, you've picked up 2 wickets and you've given 4.2 runs and over. For me, that's player of the match.
Some brotherhood in the left-arm spinners community, sir.
I was left-arm straighter. I wasn't left-arm spinner.
But he used to
left arm round all over the wicket.
But Jaiswal clearly didn't play that last game, but I suppose made amends and did all the batting he could for the 2 games.
No, absolutely. And I think what he did, he demonstrated what he needed to demonstrate. That starts of the kind that he can give to the team are invaluable because he sets the base for the entire team. And that's what the Indian innings, the pace of the innings, how it's progressed has been set by him. If somebody like a Jaiswal bats in there, at the strike rate that he bats in, around 200, and he got exactly 200 this time, he just finishes off the innings.
It looked like there was Rohit Sharma playing with Yashasvi's mask left-handed. Just that kind of bindas approach.
Yeah, and look, you've also got to say that when Virat came out to bat, we just lost Rohit.
Yep.
The way Virat batted initially. Yeah. That also, sometimes, in case there was a little bit of doubt in Yashasvi's mind, that's taken away because you've seen, one of, the all-time greats, his senior, this thing, come out and play the way he said, okay, so this is how I've also got to play. And that just sort of gave him the license in case, like I said.
What are the chances that he would have continued to bat with the same approach even if Virat had gotten out early? Because he seemed to give the impression that he was told to go and just go for it.
I think that's his job. And if you look at the Indian batting side, now we've lost our 4th wicket, but even now, Akshar Patel is sitting inside, Washington Sundar is sitting inside. So there's batting to follow.
Yeah.
When you have batting going up to 8, you're not, even if 2 go down, you'll still go hard.
Yeah.
And I think that's exactly what he did. What is the other thing India did?
Yeah.
Partnerships.
Yeah.
So what was their highest partnership? 34-35. They have a 57-run partnership.
Yeah.
You had a 92-run partnership, game over.
Yeah, but Jaiswal seems to be building a reputation across formats. This is the brand of attacking cricket that he wants to play. Whether it's red ball, ODIs, T20s, this is his game.
And why not? Yeah. I mean, if you're so successful, doing something the way you're doing it, why would you want to change it? Yeah. Don't fix it if it ain't broke. He's had such a spectacular year, in all formats. Yeah. Especially in the T20 version. Now, where we've been saying, he should be an absolutely nailed-on certainty in that World Cup 11.
Yeah.
When you've had such a good year, why would you want to change your, your thinking or your approach?
True.
And it looks like he's absolutely enjoying himself out there. And that's the key. You're going out there, having fun, smashing the ball around, getting accolades from everyone. Life's good.
Rohan referred to how there are 10 or 12 players who are a short certainty from this current pool of players. Jaiswal clearly one of the top 4-5 who are definitely going. Has he nailed that opening spot for you?
I mean, there's no doubt in my mind. There's no doubt in my mind, not just because of the runs he scored, but because of the way he scored his run. He's laid that approach for the team. And if you see this partnership, what they did, 57 and 28, the most important thing was both were going. So there was no relief for the bowlers at either end. Both batsmen were going hard.
If I may say something over here, you look at that partnership, 28, Jaiswal's contribution is 28 of 12, Virat's 29 of 16. Now, he's got a better striker than Virat in this partnership, but for some reason it seems like Virat has dominated that partnership.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. While he's got an even better striker than Virat in that partnership, but it seems when you think of that partnership, you go, listen, Virat's dominated that partnership.
Yeah.
But because we've come to expect this from Yashasvi.
Yeah.
Virat's played an innings which is, over the last few years, he hasn't played an innings like this.
True.
So that's why it stuck out a bit more than in our minds because, this is something, what's this? What are we looking at? Virat doing something different, being a little bit more aggressive from word go, that first shot that he played. But Yashasvi's strike rate, even though it's better than Virat's in that partnership, because he's been doing it over the last year and a half, we've come to expect that of him, and that's why it's not stuck out in our minds and in our memory that his was a slightly faster innings.
Yeah. Well, Virat Kohli clearly, once again, man of all seasons really. Never mind that he's come back to the side after 13 months, but form is form regardless of the colour of the ball.
Also, he's given you a demo of how he wants to play this T20 game.
Yeah.
And I think Rohit would have also had he lasted. Unfortunately, one run out and then he just goes for a ball early and gets out. But I think both of them this is the template which they're playing. Fearless cricket.
Yep.
What's his first hitting stroke? It's over the offside. He's lofted over the offside. It's not an easy shot.
Yep.
Shows you he's in form. Attacks the bowling throughout. Does not want to build an innings because he knows the time is not there. The other thing, making use of opportunity. And Rohan will tell you that if you're a player and you're even a Yashasvi Jaiswal or Shivam Dube, you have a chance to bat in a pitch like Indore with a small ground, with a reasonable bowling attack, not a great bowling attack, with dew coming in the evening. You have to tell yourself that I'm going to finish it. I'm not going to allow anyone else to bat. And both Yashasvi and Shivam Dube tried to do just that. Just bat everyone else out of it.
Yes, it was a 92-run partnership that really took the game away from Afghanistan. 92 of 42. Another half-century for Shivam Dube. Now, another of India's white ball greats, short format greats, Yuvraj Singh retired in June 2019. But when these days Yuvraj Singh trends on Twitter, you know that Shivam Dube is back well.
It's very true. It's very true. But I think that's the point. That Shivam Dube has always had the ability to hit the ball hard.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about it. What he's developed, I think, over the last 3-4 years is as a destroyer of spin and medium pace bowling in the middle.
Yep.
And if you look at these skill sets again, had the World Cup been in Australia or in England, perhaps they might not have been this important. If your World Cup is in West Indies and USA, then somebody like a Shivam Dube becomes really useful. He's just demonstrating how useful you can be. Because once he goes on a tear, he's something else.
Yep.
Sorry, I think what he's doing is we've been talking about him as, listen, what if Hardik is unfit? I think what he's doing is making sure that even if Hardik is fit, he's on that plane in that World Cup squad.
Yeah.
If you put in performances like this, it's very hard for anyone to drop you.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to be a really tough decision for the selectors if they decide to drop him.
Yeah.
But he's doing all that he can, and which is giving the selectors a headache.
Yeah. Hardik Pandya, of course, he's a proven performer, especially in T20s. But given that he's slightly injury prone, the question that India has tried to ask is, what is India's Hardik Pandya insurance policy? Has that question now well and truly been answered in Shivam Dube, especially as far as next World Cup is concerned?
See, my point is that I don't think in this World Cup that you're going to play, you need a fast bowling all-rounder as much as you need spinning all-rounders.
Yeah.
I think you can get away with spinning all-rounders. What he's actually saying is that he's made a very serious call. Forget about his 2 overs. His 2 overs are useful, but that's not the main thing. He's proved that he can, among those 6-7 batsmen in the consideration set, 8-9 batsmen, he's definitely put his hand up and said, I am somewhere there in the middle order. So whether it's a Shreyas Iyer, whether it's him, all these people are there in the mix, and not all of them will make it to the plane.
Yep.
What exactly, I'm just to go further on Joy's point, and that's a really good point, because what he's done is he's saying listen, forget, okay, this is your settled 11 with Hardik coming in. I don't find a spot maybe in the 11. But if Hardik's not fit for whatever reason in a particular game, I walk in. If Rinku's not fit for a particular game, I walk in.
Yeah.
He's saying, forget my bowling then. I'm walking in as a batter.
It seems to be his way of telling the selectors, drop me if you can from the squad. I'm sure,
look,
I don't know if I'll be playing the 11.
But
if
there's any injury to any of the all-rounders or the middle order batters, he's saying, I'm in. If there's an injury to a bowler, you're going to go in with a person who can bowl, 4 overs and a proper bowler. But if all-rounder, middle order batters, he's saying, I'm in, because he's batting at number 4. He's batting at number 6, but he's got the ability to bat at number 6. So what he's doing, he's saying, listen, don't pigeonhole me as just a all-rounder in this 11. I'm willing to do whatever I can or I need to be a part of this team.
And he's getting to bat at number 4 as well, and numbers suggest that is his preferred position. Also from the bowling point of view, Joy, he seems to have come here with an upgraded set of skills, because today he bowls a back of the hand slow delivery, gets a wicket as well. So he seems to have worked a lot on his bowling.
He's definitely worked on his bowling, and some of the people in the Chennai camp are talking about how much he's worked on his bowling. Especially, again, you have to realize he will never be an out-and-out tear-away fast bowler. Also, he doesn't have that ability of short of length ball, which Hardik can do, really disturb you. But what he does is he has a lot of slow ball variations, and if the pitch is slightly slow, he's a pretty handy prospect to bowl. So what he's doing is that instead of trying to suddenly become a Hardik, he's focusing on his strengths. His strength is the slower ball. His strength is the off cutter. He's doing that on a regular basis, and he's saying, I'll do it my way. And I think that's the important thing. I think he's much more comfortable with his game now, and realizes what his strengths are now than he was maybe 3-4 years back. When he was going, if you remember, when he first came to the IPL, he went for a lot of money. And then, RCB took him and they didn't know what to do with him. But they were trying to do too much, and those were not his strengths. I think now he's discovered what his strengths are, and I think he's doing really well.
It's been a few years since he hit those 5 sixes in that Mumbai T20 league. That's when he really was in the news, and everyone was wondering who this boy from Mumbai is. I suppose he's now sort of settling down at the highest level. He seems to have found his space at the top level.
Look, I said that during that first T20. You got to feel like you belong. And I think now he feels like he belongs. At the international level, after these 2 games, I think he'll feel like he belongs, because he's got, the appreciation of his teammates and the respect of his teammates, because he's put in 2 absolutely wonderful performances. But I just think I'd say at the IPL level, and just that, that cusp of international level, I think he feels he belongs at this level. Sometimes as a youngster, you're coming in with a big price tag. There can be a little bit of pressure, not from your teammates, but like Joy keeps saying, a lot of social media pressure. Everyone's talking about, why is he gone for X? Why is he gone for Y? How someone paid so much? But you've got to remember that the economics of the IPL is such that it's not just one team that thinks you're worth an X amount of money. If it's gone to that amount, it means there will be other parties bidding for you that's taken it up there. So look, I think he just is a lot more comfortable about his own game. He knows his own game better. And again, going back to the point that Joy made, he's not trying to copy anyone now. He's saying, this is what I do. This is what I bring to the table. This is my game. These are my strengths as a batter. These are my strengths as a bowler. And, see that difference. Still, in T20s, still 2020, average 17, now it's gone to 37. Strike rate, 135, 140, not a big difference, but in that 50s. The ability to once you get off to a start, and going on further to get a 50 shows, your game a little bit better.
Less than 2.5 months to go for IPL 24. How are CSK looking at this version of Shivam Dube?
I think they already know it. He's already their spin-hitting destroyer in the middle, and I think that's what they already use him for. What's going to happen is with Ambati Raidu's retirement, he's going to take more and more of that role. He's going to take much more responsibility, as the Indian middle order batsman.
Yep. A quick look at a very happy batting card for India. Two youngsters, two lefties. Everything going right for those two men. Yashasvi Jaiswal up top after Rohit got out. Got together with Virat Kohli. They did not let the run flow stop or stem in any way. Virat got out after scoring 29 very attractive runs. And then came the 92-run partnership between Dube and Jaiswal. Dube scored 63. About 10 or 11 sixes, I think there was in that innings. And about 16, 17 fours as well. So a lot of runs scored in fours and sixes. A rare failure for Jitesh Sharma. He'll be kicking himself. Rinku Singh, a rare runner ball, 9 runs. We're not used to seeing that. We didn't have much to do today.
Listen, his strike rate's come down. Only 100.
Only 100. I'm sure he'll get.
But I think just to this thing, I think Jitesh will look at what Rinku's done and will be thinking in the dressing room, I wish I'd done that.
Yeah.
I wish I'd gone at a runner ball, not try to be too aggressive, because Shivam Dube was, batting fabulously like a dream.
Yeah.
He was going to win you the game. There was no danger of us losing the game. So what Jitesh, for someone who's in the early stages of his career, he'll be looking and kicking himself, thinking, I should have just done the sensible thing here, taken a single and given.
Rohan's right. The game was won, but can youngsters often? Well, he's not a youngster. He's not 21, 22. But can new players make the mistake of overthinking a situation? Would he have said, "Listen, if I don't go for a big shot, will I be looked at as selfish?"
I don't know what he was thinking, and you may be right. He might have been thinking that. I don't think they would have ever thought of it like that. This was a time to play sensibly. If the ball's there to be hit for the 4, by all means. But both of his shots, and remember, he got out in the second shot.
Yeah.
The first shot also, the first ball, he went for a wide swipe, and he nearly was the LBW. They decided not to review the decision. So the point is, he's not hitting, you've not got that shot. You don't need to take that risk. The guy on the other end is doing well.
Yeah.
Take a single, watch what happens. And these are opportunities that you won't get more often. Somebody like a Jitesh, given the number of wicketkeeper batsmen that India has, how many opportunities are you going to get? How many times are you going to go and say that, I just threw my wicket away?
Yeah.
If I have 5 international appearances of one of them, I threw my wicket away, it's not something I would remember.
I don't think that the thought process would have been of, will others think I'm selfish? I don't think that would have been the thought process would have been, he's sitting there with his pads on, seeing Yashasvi and Shivam Dube smack it around. He is someone who's known to smack it around, and he's thinking, listen, I've got to go there. It's a flat pitch. Let me try and hit a few. Get that feeling going. But I think with experience, when he knows that the game is won, you never do it when it's detrimental to the team's cause. But here there was no danger of us losing.
Exactly.
And it didn't. And again, this is not a group stage match where you think, okay, net run rate or any of that is a factor. You take the win, you win the series, so you think, okay, listen, I'm just going to play it sensibly. Let Shivam Dube, who's batting beautifully, let him do the honours.
Individually speaking, not a good outing for both the Sharma ji ke ladke, Rohit and Jitesh. Got out for a duck, both of them. But the team wins and everything's forgotten. Everything's good. Not so much for Afghanistan. A disappointing looking bowling card, this one. Take a look at that. No Rashid Khan, and everyone struggles. Except Fazal Haq Farooqi, who got clobbered for a few runs at the start. And yet he is just under 8. Everyone else has gone, well, Karim Janat, I suppose, both got those 2 wickets towards the end. But everyone else, 11, 12, 13, there's just not enough in this bowling group.
Him also, spinners not being able to grip the ball, there's a bit of dew out there. And the batsmen were absolutely ruthless. I mean, a lot of credit goes to the batting, the kind of pitch this was, and the kind of stadium, so small size of the ground.
Yeah.
It's a very, very difficult pitch to bat. It's a very difficult pitch to defend.
Can the bowling group look at the batters and say, if you had given us 30 more runs?
What? The way India batted, I think 30 would not have been enough. I think only you'd give us another 75 more runs. But I don't think you can blame the bowling group, because this was a batting paradise.
Yeah.
Imagine you've scored 170 and nearly everyone knew that this wasn't going to be enough. 170, not going to be enough. And so it proved. I just think on pitches like this, on ground conditions like this, it's really harsh to be critical of a bowling unit.
Yeah.
I think you've got to give credit to the batters, and even when you give credit to the batters, it's basically the batters doing the job.
Yeah. Yeah.
Doing the job. It's basically it's so much easier to play in Indore on this pitch with this ground as a batter that you think, okay, listen, you've done your job. You say someone like even Yashasvi and Shivam Dube, they know that, yes, while it looks spectacular, there'll be times when they've got to 65 or 45 deliveries, and that's a better innings.
Yeah, true.
You know, they've got to 65 or 45, 46 deliveries, and they'll be thinking, man, this was a better innings than that 60 of 32.
Yeah.
You know,
It's like your father's 57 against John Price
at Old Trafford.
At Old Trafford, absolutely.
Well, 158 in the first, 172 in the second. Just not enough runs on the board. India won the toss and chose to bowl on both occasions. And that's invited a lot of questions from some really passionate, cued-in Cricbuzz lovers. This one's from Sandeep Singh Rajput. He says, shouldn't India treat these games as prep for the ICC events? We've been found wanting batting first. Then why choose to bowl first in bilaterals? That too at Indore with Rohit, Kohli in the 11. Are we scared of criticism in losing games and not seeing the big picture?
I think it's harsh. I think the next game they might experiment, but you first put away the series.
Yeah.
At one level, you put away the series. And this is also a test. It's not as if that, you know, if you're batting second, you always, the game is your advantage.
Yeah.
I mean, it's completely to your advantage. The game is not over.
Yeah.
So there's still a lot to be done. I think they put it out. They saw the bowlers they wanted to. So a lot of things have been tested. They saw the bowlers that they wanted to see.
Yeah.
They saw a lot of the batsmen they wanted to see. They'd be pleased with the form of some of the batsmen. I think in the next match, I wouldn't be surprised if they win the toss and bat first. But I think they just want to put away the series first.
Maybe they wanted to see the youngsters chase under pressure as well. I mean, Jaiswal and Dube, etc.
I think they are seeing the big picture. That is why they have 3 spinners in Mohali in those conditions.
Yeah.
That is why you look at the team selection. It is seeing the big picture.
Yeah.
So they're testing themselves with the big picture in mind. They're thinking, okay, what do we need to do? Ticking off certain boxes. And as Joy rightly said, put the series to bed. And in the third game, we might see a bit more experimentation in terms of, deciding to bat first or more changes in the 11. But they are looking at it.
Right, that is the end of that. The series is in the bag for India. A series win to start the year on a happy note for this young team led by Rohit Sharma. Virat Kohli, the big guns are back as well, and the youngsters are putting up performances worth remembering. The third one will be played about 600 kilometers from Indore. They travel to Rajkot, Rangilu Rajkot they call it. This is where, they go to Bangalore or they go to Rajkot, I thought. Regardless, doesn't matter. The third T20 will be played on the 17th of this month. Rohan Gavaskar, Joy Bhattacharjya will be back on Cricbuzz Live. But changes, gentlemen, would you say go with what's working, another game for Shivam Dube, or do you say we've seen enough of him, maybe try and get someone like a Tilak Verma back in the mix?
Well, I think now you've seen enough of him. I think he's done his case. He's put forward his case. I think you'd want to look at a few other players.
Yep.
Even say someone like a Navesh Khan, we've not seen him. Kuldeep, again, nailed on certainty, so you may not want to see Kuldeep play. But players who you want to, maybe, Sanju Samson comes in. He hasn't got a game yet. He hasn't played in a T20 since Ireland. So it's been a while. So maybe, you give him a game to see how he goes. But I think you might see Shivam Dube being rested.
Bishnoi has had a forgettable 2 games. One more game for him, or would you say maybe take a break, get Kuldeep in or Avesh?
I'd say the reverse. The guys who have done well, they're more likely to be rested. So Shivam definitely will get rested.
Yep.
I think Arshdeep also might just get rested because I think they know what Arshdeep can do or not do. They might look at Avesh or Mukesh. One of those 2 might get rested because they know what these guys can do basically. Bishnoi might probably get a game just because I think they need to do it. What you might see is Aksar not playing because Aksar, I think, has proven that he can really bowl under these circumstances.
And they're playing in Bengaluru, sorry about that. So again, one more short boundary, So another challenging venue for the spinners.
Yeah, I think exactly that. I think genuinely that they are now going to leave the players who they think are happy. I think Rohit will play because Rohit just would like to have a nice knock to make himself, have a chance to go out there and just express himself a bit.
It's India's last international game before the World Cup in June. Yeah. Would that play on the minds of the coach and the captain?
In terms of?
In terms of what they do with their selection?
No, I think they would have...
It's their last international T20.
International T20 game, yeah.
Yeah, so I don't think that would play a role because I think they would have sussed out whatever they need to in these first 2 games. But Rohit will play, Virat will play because, you've got them in the squad. And they want to get back into that T20 international sort of mode. So they will play. I think someone like Shivam Dube will be rested because he's shown what he's capable of. They don't need to see any more from him. So I think the players who haven't done well will get another opportunity, and some of the other players who've been sitting 12, 13, 14 might get an opportunity.
Right, for Afghanistan though, this one, and then they have 2 more series to play before that T20 World Cup in June. What do you do here, Joy? They've come to India with 18 players. No Rashid Khan because of that lower back surgery. What do you do to the bowling?
No, I don't think they can do very much. I think they've just given Noor Ahmed a chance. They'll have to persist with him one more. Mujib is there. Fazal Haq picks himself. I don't think Kes has much of a chance out here. For them, I think it's a different challenge. India has a different challenge. India is trying to say, okay, what's my 15?
Yeah.
I think Afghanistan, with a more limited bank, is trying to say, what's my best 11?
Yeah.
And they're just trying to discover their best 11.
Listen, we just spoke about in that show about how that big win against Bangladesh changed the life of one Afghani cricketer.
Yeah.
Correct.
Imagine what a big win against India can do.
And do to a young kid.
So they are not looking at, what's the World Cup got in store for us. They're looking at how are we going to beat India. Let's beat India.
Yeah.
That's their short-term, big-term goal at the moment.
Is the 11 they played in the second game their best? Because going by what you're saying, if it is their best, then there's no reason to change.
Well, I think you'll have to look at the conditions prevalent in Bengaluru, see what kind of pitch is available. We know what the ground is. We know generally what the pitch is like. But sometimes there might be a bit more grass. Then you play more seamers. If it's which is going to be a good batting track, then you're thinking, okay, listen, let's go with our best 11. But yeah, I mean, this looks like a pretty settled 11.
Yeah. Well, you do have the options of the left-arm pacer, Farid Ahmed Malik. There is the young leggy Qais Ahmed as well. So who knows? We might get a chance to see some of those lesser-known names. Very quickly, players to watch out for from both teams.
I think again, Gurbaz has to at some point come to the party. He has to come to the party, number one. And number two, I still hold that I want to see Rohit do something because I think it's important, not because we don't doubt him, but because for his own mindset, I think he'd like to have a good innings.
Yep.
Well, I'm going to go with an under-19 player who was an under-19 player and sort of enthralled everyone in that World Cup, Noor Ahmed. I want to see what Noor does. He's not really, but he's got a lot of quality, a lot of ability. So I want to see Noor Ahmed, the way he goes. And from the Indian team, I actually want to see what Washington Sundar does. Because I think he could be a really important player if selected in that World Cup squad because of the pitches that are there, that spinning all-rounder. So I'd like to see what Washi does.
One game to go. That is what it is. We often talk about players to watch out for. But on Cricbuzz, there's only one player to watch out for, Mr. Bhattacharjya, who keeps needling us with difficult questions. Finally, we will have the answer to this question.
Yeah, but I mean, he is just knocking over all of them. He's giving fantastic answers. So which international record was eclipsed after 40 years in the Chamba district ground in Himachal Pradesh? And the answer is, of course, the longest international innings. Rajiv Nair batted for 1,115 runs for 271, beating Hanif Mohammad's record of the 970 run 333. This is against the West Indies more than 40 years before. But I have to tell you, he knew the answer. Rohan knew the answer immediately. And Rohan, you have an explanation for why it took that long, right?
Yeah, because every time, after every ball that he'd face, he'd go around the stumps. So that's like a 4-minute over would take 7 minutes. And there were times, I kid you not, that a lot of teams, a lot of players would just stand behind the stump making sure he couldn't go past. So while he's trying to take that chakkar around the stump, there'd be slip would come in, wicketkeeper would be there, leg slip, city point, short leg, trying to make sure he doesn't go around. Because, see, as a cricketer, you're doing everything you can to upset the rhythm of a batter who has superstition.
Yep.
You're trying to say, listen, I'm going to make you think, not be comfortable and settled when you're taking that guard and about to face the ball. You've got to be thinking about something else other than just the ball. So
lovely.
Yeah.
See, you've got a piece of trivia and a story to go with it. That's what you get on Cricbuzz Live. Who's the lucky one that got the answer? Let's bring up that name. Shovik Shah at Bongabandhu. Well done. Has to be Bengali, sir. These Bengalis Rule quizzing.
But I think the thumbs up should come from him.
Also Bengal connection.
Absolutely.
Also,
I'm an honorary Bengali.
correct. Correct. So, well, you got it all today. An India win, trivia, stories, anecdotes, all of that, and get more of it on the 17th. That's 2 days from now. We'll see you at 6:30 p.m. for the third game between India and Afghanistan. Good night. Bye-bye.